We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Welcome to the February 19, 2018 meeting for the Shawnee County Board of County Commissioners. My name is Kevin Cook. I currently serve as the chair. Joining me today is Commissioner Shelley Bueller. Good morning.
Good morning.
And Commissioner Bob Archer. Good morning.
Good morning.
Madam Chair, if we could start off with our first agenda item.
Proclamations, presentations. Number 1, presentation by TARC Inc. regarding the 2017 Winter Wonderland Celebration of Lights. Sherry Lundry, TARC.
Good morning, Commissioners. Randy Luby with Parks and Recreation. It gives me great pleasure today to have Sherry Lundry here on TARC's behalf for the Winter Wonderland celebration. This was the 20th year at Lake Shawnee, and again, Parks and Recreation are so proud to be part of this event, and it's a community event that I know a lot of families look forward to every year, and again, we're just pleased to be a part of it. Sherry?
First of all, thank you very much for allowing me to be here today to tell you a little bit about what went on this past year. So we had a goal of 12,000 vehicles to go through Winter Wonderland, and we exceeded that goal. We had 12,555, so we were pretty excited about that. And we had a goal, since it was the 20th year, to raise over $200,000, and we raised $203,000. So that is the record. We've never raised that much before. Last year was $191,000. And this year was 203. So we had a really good year. Weather-wise was fabulous. We didn't have any issues with rain and ice and everything until after the fact, which we're still trying to get things put away. Staff at County Parks and Rec is fabulous. The guys who help us put up and take down and work every day diligently to make sure the lights stay on, they are wonderful. So we are so appreciative of the staff and what all you all do to support us. So being the 20th year, we did something a little special. We had a history video made to tell the history of how Winter Wonderland came about and how it got to be part of Parks and Rec in Shawnee County, and I was asked to show that today, so we're going to hopefully get this going.
Years ago, after 2 years of planning, TARC opened Winter Wonderland at the Lake Shawnee campground, and it all started because of a wedding.
We had gone to Pittsburgh, Kansas to a wedding and had a little extra time, and we kept seeing these lights in the park. One of them was a tunnel, which just really fascinated me. We drove through and thought, oh, that's nice, and as we were driving home, we both kind of came up with the idea, oh, that would be a great idea for TARC, and we brought it back to the board, and they agreed.
Moving forward with plans for Winter Wonderland, TARC first had to acquire the light displays.
For several years, we leased the displays from a company in Oklahoma, and then we began looking at other options and talking with my brother Russ, who worked at Topeka Foundry and Ironworks, and he said Topeka Foundry could make those displays here locally, right here in Topeka. I brought that idea back to Ann, and from that point, Topeka Foundry and TARC hooked up, and the rest has pretty much been history.
Once TARC had the displays, Ann Klinkenbeard had a good location in mind.
She came in and sat down with us and thought our campground would be a perfect site, and if we would be interested in kind of co-sponsoring a big fundraiser for TARC, and we were, and we sat down and started laying out the basis.
But the campground was not without its challenges.
Our campground did not drive a full circle out. It was basically one that you would drive in and have to turn around and come back out. So we had to put in probably a stretch of about 100-yard asphalt road to make it a complete circle.
From 10 displays in year one to now more than 70, Winter Wonderland takes hundreds of hours of hard work to not only build and set up the displays, but to keep the lights on.
There's about 1 million light bulbs out there, and it seems like each and every one of them has a unique personality, what it takes to keep them going. There's controllers that help keep the animation going. So that's a big part of my job. But we also, buy new displays, we create new displays, we're always designing things or thinking about what we're going to do the next year.
Over the years, Winter Wonderland has gone through some changes, but one major change was the switch to LED lights.
When we first started using them, nobody had even seen them on Christmas lights and things, but we found them out that people were selling them. They were very expensive, but it gave us the ability to put a lot more light bulbs, since they use about 1/10 as much electricity as the regular incandescents. So we put them into displays as we could afford them, and that gave us the ability to build a lot more displays out there. The next thing that we're moving towards are the multicolored LEDs that I can program with a microprocessor, so that we can have displays that change colors. Old Man Winter was the first display we used those on, and we're using them on other displays now.
And none of this would be possible without the support of volunteers, sponsors, and the community.
In the early days, when we were first setting up Winter Wonderland, we would actually give staff time off to go during the workday out to Lake Shawnee to help set up some of the displays. As the days progressed, it no longer became a challenge to fill the nights of Winter Wonderland with volunteers. We had people calling us to volunteer and sign up their company.
Every year, we are excited to volunteer one night where we work the gates. Everything from handing out the pamphlets, talking about the Razzle Dazzle glasses, and just volunteer that whole night and work the gate, which is a lot of fun. And that's a great team building experience. And then we've also, over the past couple of years, added in the ability for staff to go and help volunteer with the setup piece of it. And that's really been eye-opening for them to see the behind the scenes of everything that goes on to putting those light displays up.
Even though Winter Wonderland has changed through the years, its purpose never has. Funds raised provide services and support for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
I personally became interested in park about the first year that we did the Winter Wonderland. I had a couple close friends and they had Down syndrome children, and so I took it as a personal investment, a personal interest in it. And I got to see firsthand the awesome services that park provides, not only to the client, but also the families, and I've been attached ever since.
Started in 1998, Winter Wonderland is now a holiday tradition in Northeast Kansas and holds good memories for many.
A favorite memory of mine has to be all the people, the wonderful people that I've met through the Winter Wonderland event.
One of my favorite things has always been the tunnel, and I don't know, there was something about that kind of attracted us at the very beginning when we first saw the tunnels and driving through them.
We had an employee, his name was Keith Garvey, and he took so much interest in this event, and he was the one out there that did a lot of the wiring and checking the plugs and checking the bulbs. I think it was after year 1 or 2, and the campground was back to normal. Well, he happened to be doing a little work around the building and found $5. He came to my office and said, "Can you make sure this gets back to Tark, because I know they need it." And I always thought, wow, what an employee firsthand to have that integrity, but also shows you his love for the event as well as Tark Industries.
We had no idea that this would end up being what it is today. And I just wish for Tark the very best for the 20th anniversary of Winter Wonderland.
that was the video that was produced by KSNT for us. We had over 600 volunteers help set up Winter Wonderland and work the nights. Most of the work, however, comes from Randy and Sean's crew that help us out so much. So they're fabulous. We do all kinds of fun things with them, but we are honored to have you all as a partner, as well as all the others in the county who help us, and in the community who help us, West Star, Jura, and all of those folks, because we couldn't do it without all of you, and we're looking forward to next year, number 21. Do you have any questions for me?
I had a chance to see the video, and that's the reason I asked Lane to come down, or Sherry to come down and do the presentation. It was such a well-done video, and I think that it really speaks volumes of the public-private partnership. Just some of the takeaways. It was 2 years in the planning to get started. And
Took a
starting out
while.
with 10 displays and now 70. And so just keeping at it and talking about a lot of our good activities that we have and just growing them year by year and all the different partnerships. So,
We truly appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a great way to tell the history. Yeah.
We're pretty excited about that, and even Randy did a good job.
I appreciate some of the younger pictures of Randy and John.
And Sean was looking off into the, I don't know where you were looking at. Oh, okay.
I don't remember it quite like that, but... No, but thank you all so much, because we couldn't do it without your support and the support of the community, and it is very important to TARC that the $200,000 that goes back into programming is, what is needed. So because of all of the different things that go on in insurance and the state budget and things like that, and every penny that comes through there goes back into programming for the folks that we serve. So we're truly appreciative of all that you do for us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, our next item.
Item 3, consent agenda.
There are 2 items on the consent agenda.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item 4, new business. A, county clerk. Number 1, consider all voucher payments.
We have vouchers totaling $909,158.75. The largest amount is with Health Insurance Administration, $349,901.40. Second is the Solid Waste Enterprise Fund, not the general fund, $215,836.08. And then holding accounts paid to the Kansas Department of Vehicles, Director of Vehicles, $98,980.17. And I have no questions. I'll move approval.
I'll second.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Archer. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes 3-0. Our next item.
Number 2, consider correction orders.
I'll move for approval of the correction orders.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Archer. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item B, counselor. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of Contract C-64, 2018, amendment to Contract C-87, 2017, with HTK Architects, PA, for Phase B related to the Expo Center renovation project, beginning with the schematic design process at a cost estimated to be $2,932,900.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jim Krause, Shawnee County Councilor. As indicated by the clerk, this is technically an amendment to the existing contract to add the Part B services to the contract. Those services will cover on the Expo Center renovation project, design, the bid phase for the contract, and the construction phase. The fee number you were given is still an estimate. It is a more refined estimate than what we would have had last year when we entered into the original contract, and that number will change depending on the final scope of the project. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. I think Chuck's also here this morning.
Questions regarding this item in the budget?
I'll move to approve the contract.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Archer to approve the contract, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
One more step moving forward for the Expo Center. Madam Clerk, our next item.
Item C, Parks and Recreation, number 1, consider approval of request to award design services to Designosaur for concepts, design, and layout of materials for the guide, seasonal catalogs, and secondary promotional brochures at a cost not to exceed $5,000 per guide and $1,500 total for secondary brochures, and authorization and execution of contract C-65, 2018 for same.
Good morning, Commissioners. Randy Luby, Parks and Recreation. If you recall, last fall we went out for RFP on the design and layout for our guide. We had 2 companies present a bid, and Designosaurs was the low, and we've used them in the past. This is a new company name, but it's the same person that's done it in the past, I believe 3 years. And we've been very pleased with her services. So if you have any questions, I know Mike McLaughlin is here also, and be glad to answer any questions you might have.
Questions regarding this item?
I have none. I'll move approval.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Our next item.
Number 2, consider authorization and execution of contract C-66, 2018 with Cox Business to provide internet connection at the Crossover Tennis Center at a cost of $125 for one-time installation fees and $114.99 monthly reoccurring service charges.
Good morning, Commissioners. Sean Osborne, Parks and Recreation. This item before you is a contract with Cox to provide the internet services that we need to monitor, and part of the contract that we have with Genesis and Crossover. Be happy to answer any questions that you might have within this.
Can you tell us a little bit about what the service is going to entail?
The service actually provides with the phone, the security, and some of the other stuff that we have at the center. Plus, it's going to help us monitor more of what Crossover and Genesis does on a tournament level. If you take, we have in our sports, we have the, I'm trying to think of what it's called, quick scores. With our new software that we're getting, we are going to be able to help and monitor more, plus point of sale and some different things of that nature. We have a similar contract with Helen Hawker at Gage Park that's very similar, and part of this was because talking with Brian Weiss, we went away from Verizon, and Cox was part of the one that stepped in. So,
Are we going to be looking at adding any of the Wi-Fi or hotspots for internet access at Crossover during tournaments?
we're actually looking at that at a couple of different locations. If you remember, I think we had, for capital outlay, we had an item on there. So we're looking at the Bettis complex as well and some different places in that, just because that's moving into the trend, but more people want internet access and things. So yeah, we're looking into that.
Questions regarding this item?
You asked all the questions I asked Sean earlier, so I'll make a motion to approve the contract.
I'll second.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Thank you. Our next item.
Item D, corrections, number 1. Consider approval of request for out-of-state travel for one employee to attend a technology summit with all expenses paid by Securus Technologies, with the exception of hotel costs, estimated to be $640, with funding from the training budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tim Phelps, Department of Corrections. This is an item that's on here to explore some ways to make our inmate phone and video visitation services join up with some additional services and make them more efficient and more available so that we can make better use of the time the inmates are locked down. And that's the purpose of sending a staff member to this conference.
Questions regarding this item?
We're pleased so far with the way it's worked out for our customers.
Yes, sir.
specifically, when we transitioned from physical visits to video visits, there was a little bit of anxiety at the beginning,
Right.
but it's improved significantly, and I'm wanting to explore opportunities to make it to where there's more of it available.
I have no questions. I'll move for approval.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Bueller.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next item.
Item E, Commission Number 1, reflect appointment by Commissioner Archer of Ping Enriquez to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Advocacy Board.
Yeah, Ping Enriquez is an active leader in our community. He actually ran for city council in this last turnaround, and I would like to thank him for his willingness to serve on the advisory board and make a motion to reflect my appointment of Ping.
Second.
Motion made for approval by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Our next item.
Administrative Communications.
This is an opportunity for any department head or member of the public to address the commission on any item.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kellen Seitz, Spectre Venue Management, the Kansas Expo Center. I wanted to give you an update on this past week and this weekend's Shrine Circus. We held over 16,500 visitors through the circus this past week, so a very good turnout for the circus, so we're thrilled with that. Today, our crews are not only loading out circus, but loading in tons and tons of dirt into Landon Arena for Equifest. That'll be coming up Friday through Sunday of this coming weekend. That will start Friday at 8:30 and go to 8 p.m., Saturday from 8 to 8, and Sunday from 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. It's a 3-day equine exposition with trade shows, lectures, and demonstrations for the equine community. And then also next week, did want to remind everyone that Harlem Globetrotters will be in town on Tuesday at 7 o'clock. So our operations team has quite a bit of work to do to turn over from circus to Equifest and take all the dirt out and clean before basketball. So lots of work going on over there.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How's our discussion with Darius Rucker coming along?
Yeah. You know, we haven't talked in a while. It's but we're continuing. There's a lot of movement on that front. Actually, we sent in 3 offers for concert content this past week. I wish I could tell you who those are. Unfortunately, one of them was not Darius Rucker. So, but we're actively working on some increased programming there, and hope to have some new contracts to announce very soon.
All right.
I understand that Justin Timberlake puts on a pretty good show, too.
He most certainly does.
Okay. Just ideas for you, Kellen.
My spouse said the same thing during the Super Bowl halftime show. So,
Thank you, Kellen.
Good morning again, Commissioner Sean Osborne, Parks and Recreation. This Saturday, we have the Lake Shawnee will be closed for fishing because we have the trout stocking, and then we'll reopen the lake back again on March 3rd, that Saturday morning at 6 a.m. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other?
Morning, Mike McLaughlin with Shawnee County Parks Recreation. You may have seen the news coverage, excuse me, about a sonic transducer device we placed in Central Park Pond. The pond has had outbreaks of blue-green algae the past couple of years. It's a very shallow body of water, and we're working with KDHE and Wildlife Parks and Tourism, who have told us that it's very common in an urban pond to have a very high concentration of nutrients, including phosphorus, which feeds the blue-green algae. So this device emits sound waves that break up the gas festules in the blue-green algae, keep it from floating up to the top where it gets sunlight and then proliferates. They're also using this in Milford Lake, which you read a lot is has a lot of blue-green algae down at Melbourne Lake as well. So they're commercially out available, so the companies that make them don't consider them experimental yet. For us, we do consider this an experiment to see if we can keep the blue-green algae from forming in Central Park Pond.
Look forward to the update on that.
Yeah.
Any other updates this morning? Commissioner Archer, anything?
Oh, just happy President's Day for all of you that happen to have the day off. Must be nice. Thank you, Commissioner.
Commissioner Bueller.
I attended the Silver Lake Education Foundation breakfast this morning. They featured almost 10 different grant recipients. Those awards totaled almost $19,000. And so it was a great crowd. I had to leave kind of right in the middle of their really cool video as well, but I brought the brochure if you'd like to take a look at that.
Thank you.
Anyway, it's a good breakfast.
Very good. On Saturday, the Black History Month had a banquet put on and honoring the award recipient of the Greater Topeka Partnership and JADO for its work with the East Topeka Learning Center project. It's always good to see that the community reception and all the participants that are involved in that. And look forward to that continued discussion as the East Topeka Learning Center project keeps moving forward. Additionally, congratulations to the top tank winners on Saturday. Great to see all of the entrepreneurial spirit from all of the individuals, and then the reception afterwards, and you can really feel that there's a good vibe in Topeka and promoting new businesses and entrepreneurship in our community. Madam Clerk, our next item.
Executive sessions?
There is not a need for an executive session today, so we are adjourned. Neat cover.
Yeah, well, and they had...